Hey, what's going on everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and here we're gonna hopefully have a little bit of fun. Now, I do want to preface this right at the beginning by saying if you're gonna follow along with this like this is a tutorial, and this video is actually not meant to be a tutorial. This is more just, I'm going to try and attempt this mod here for the first time, and we're going to see the results. And if you choose to follow along with it, sure, but if you're wanting some more detail, or maybe I'm missing something on this, again, this isn't meant to be a tutorial, just kind of getting that out of the way. Either way, right here we have a original Nintendo Game Boy. This is the DMG model. I've lovingly called it the brick model of the Game Boy before, and I've wanted one of these for a while. It's not like I had like a burning desire for one, don't worry, because it's not like they're hard to find, but I've had one before in the past. I remember when I was younger, I think my mom and I found one at a thrift shop for like $3 or $5 or something. I popped in batteries, and the thing did not turn on at all. So the thrift shop was actually nice enough to even refund us on that. We kind of took it back in. We're just like, hey, this thing's not working like at all, and so they refunded us, which was great. And for anybody wondering how did you get a Game Boy for $3, well, this was like, I mean, easily probably 20 years ago, like 20, maybe 18 years ago, something like that, where that was more possible. So I paid 10 times more for this one right here. I actually ended up getting this at a, I guess a bit of a swap meet here. And this is the cheapest Game Boy I found. It is working, thankfully, but it is $30 US, and it has this note saying lines on it. And I'll show you exactly what it means. So I've already put in the batteries. We're going to turn it on. Thankfully, it does work. But you're going to see right here, I'll even change the contrast a little bit. You can see those lines all over. There we go. And it seems like there's both horizontal and vertical lines. So you can change it up a little bit where you can make it a bit better. And let me even try to put in a game as well too. I did make sure before I purchased it, I did make sure that it did work. Thankfully, the seller did have some batteries in there. So let's go ahead, take Pokemon Yellow, fire this thing up. There we go. Oh god, that is garbled. Okay. Is it gonna do anything? Nope. I know it does work, but let me go ahead and try and clean this guy up real quick. Just some kind of cleaning 101 here, basic enough. If you don't have isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol I guess can work, but no. Just pretty much, if you can, take isopropyl alcohol, a Q-tip. And clean like that. Oh yeah, that is a little bit dirty here. Alright. Well, the good news is my Pokemon Yellow is going to be cleaner than before. I'll let it dry out a little bit here, and then we're going to try this out. Although, thankfully, since it's isopropyl alcohol, it's going to dry out pretty quickly. Alright, so I've popped the cartridge back in. We're going to go ahead, turn this thing on. And it is at least showing the Nintendo logo right there, but you're going to see this is not looking super great. So we got the intro. It would definitely be difficult to play this, but oh, thankfully the sound is working. The screen is not looking super great though, so it's looking a little something like that. Alright, so we've confirmed it's working at least, which is good. So what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to take this whole thing apart. We're going to reshell it, put new batteries in, of course batteries, new buttons is what I meant. So completely new reshell, so I'm not even going to bother cleaning this up. And also we're going to be replacing the screen as well too, do a nice screen upgrade. Yeah, I know that there are fixes that you can do on this where essentially you kind of just take the ribbon connector here, run a soldering iron on this, and you kind of fix up the lines, but I'm kind of curious, well too, I'm not even sure if that would really help necessarily on this one, so I guess we'll see. But either way, one thing I did prior to this is I actually, I'm going to take out my batteries here. I didn't show it, I didn't take any photos, but I did clean up all the contact points here, because I guess a previous owner had left their batteries in here for a little too long, and they had leaked out and corroded, and it wasn't just like green, it was like blue in here. Like, it looked like Cookie Monster sneezed or something in here. So thankfully it's been all cleaned up. I used lemon juice and then isopropyl alcohol, cleaned it real well. Took like 10 minutes or so last night. So now all that's left is we're going to be taking this thing apart and working on it. Alright, so it looks like here we got a ribbon cable, so I will try and finesse this out. There we go. Alright. Haven't actually taken one of these apart ever, so this is all new to me. This is cool. Let me actually even see if I can start transplanting some of the stuff here. So let's even see what's in our kit. We have those split apart. In here, let's see. Nope, I think that's some double-sided tape. We have this board right here, which it looks like, alright, this is going to be replacing this guy here. So it's not going to go into this case, ultimately. We're going to be installing a new case, but yeah, it looks like that's going to connect in there. Alright, that's cool. There are going to be some components that I do have to take out of this, it looks like. Alrighty. So we got that. Yep, that's going to be for everything there. Then looks like we got the screen kit and everything itself. That's good. That's what I'm looking for. Just going to leave all of that here for now so I don't lose track of it. All right. And what about the casing? So we got this. Oh, this is looking good so far. Pretty happy with that. Very cool. This here is, let's see, from what I can tell, this case has already been pre-trimmed for this mod because we are going to get some more real estate on the screen, which is awesome. Looks like here, yep, we're gonna have to put some in that. Then we have this. All right. Oh, don't have to worry about. Wow. The funny thing is, I actually cleaned up these connectors thinking I was going to have to transplant them. But no, it looks like I won't have to do that. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that at least. All right. Very cool so far. So awesome. And then we have fresh screws here, fresh button pads here. Although it looks like we're not going to be doing new buttons here. So we're just going to bring our original buttons, not the pads at least, but the original buttons here we're going to be bringing over, which I'm certainly okay with. Totally cool. All right, so let's see what we're going to be bringing over. It looks like since I'm going to be using this board, then we're not going to be messing with this anymore, because this is kind of just going to pop in here. Actually, I just realized this is actually going to go up top, so I had the mistake on that. Interesting. Alright, let me double check. Yep. So that board's going to go right there, and cool. Alright, kind of got this all sorted here, so that's looking good thus far. But I will have to bring over all the components here, transport them into the bottom half, which is totally fine. So let's see how we're going to be doing that. Oh, and that's nice. All right, so the entire Game Boy lifts up like so. This is essentially the console itself. That's cool. Again, I've never worked on one of these before, so this bottom half we're not going to need at all because we already have these screws right here. And I think I'm just going to transplant the old screws into the new one here. Why not? But we can also do some cleaning as well here too while we're at it. This thankfully doesn't look bad, like, at all. This actually looks pretty good. Yeah, the only thing I really want to clean is, like, just, I mean, the touchable component here. So let's do that. right, huh. My honest thoughts, I am shocked this Game Boy is as clean as it is. But that is certainly not a bad thing. So let's go ahead and get this transplanted over here. So from what I saw, we're going to just, oh, I will need the button here. That's going to be the power switch. So I wonder if they gave me a new power switch. They did, it looks like. All right. And you know, I was mistaken. All right, cool. They gave me some new buttons as well, which that's what I thought. I was a little bit surprised that they weren't going to give me new buttons, but looks like they did. So this here, I just compared, is going to go in this way. Going to remove this board, pop this down here like so, so that way, switch it on and off, and it just fits in like that. Oh wow, I didn't even attempt, and this fit in perfectly here. And then I'm gonna come up this way, I'm gonna drop this in like so. That is so easy, unbelievable. So the button's fine. That's the link cable port. That is the contrast. Cool, let's get these screws popped back in. I'm actually taking out these two screws, so these are from the originals, but I'm going to remove these because, well, not only we have new screws, these two are fine, but these ones just don't seem to be going in like all the way there, and I'm not too happy with that. So again, that's totally fine. I'm just going to grab a couple of the screws here that we got. I found some different ones here, but it looks like these ones seem to be about the same except a little bit longer, which is actually exactly what I need here. Either way, let's give these ones a shot here. I'm gonna try this one out, see how well it works. So got that screwed in, and looks like because these are newer, they'll seem to be okay, but still. All right, this screw feels a lot better. There we go. All right, so it looks like that one's going to be the better option to go with. And got another one here. So, you know, we'll just grab a new one here. It's all good. We have brand new screws, so it's fine. All right, there we go. So at this point here, I think this bottom half is completely done, aside from the screws that we're going to put in at the end. But that's awesome. The actual Game Boy console itself is all good here. Of course, we do need to get the ribbon cable on this and everything, but we're going to transpose everything over here shortly. All right, so let's go ahead and try to work on the mod itself here, since again, the bottom half is pretty much done. So we're going to look at what we're seeing here. I'll zoom out a little bit just so I have a bit more real estate to work with. All right. What are we looking at here? Haven't seen one of these before, so it's looking good so far. It looks like this is the screen itself, and it has a film covering it just to protect that, and awesome. We have one of these. Perfect. Okay. Cool. That's all looking good as well, too. So I'm wondering, probably just go forward with already applying this here so we can get that out the way. Because I'm going to have to prepare all of this. But might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So we do have this 3D printed bracket, and typically if you only get this mod kit, from what I can tell, there's going to be some modifications you need to do. You would need to cut this screen here a little bit, and I think you'd also need to cut down contrast as well too, but because I admittedly I don't really like doing that work specifically, like taking stuff apart, putting it together, soldering, I don't mind, but actually like cutting stuff down, I don't really like doing that, I'm gonna be honest. So I paid for the full kit here that has you know, the full shell and everything, and the shell is pre-cut and pre-modified and ready for this specific mod, which makes everything that much better. So cool. I'm gonna put that over to the side. So we've got this right here. Now I will have to let's see how we're going to roll with this. And I believe this mod is going to get installed a little something like this, where we pretty much put the screen in like so. I'm going to have to make it so that it passes through, board passes through like that. So actually, there we go. It's supposed to just, the screen is supposed to sit in like this. Board is supposed to be behind here like this. And according to the instructions on the sale page, there's going to be 2 strips. Well, 1 strip I need to put on the board itself, the mod board, and then on the back of the screen, there's 2 strips I need to put on. So let's go ahead and get that worked on. And I'm just trying to be careful with this, but this is all already connected, so that's good. Let me go ahead and get this all set up. I do have my adhesive somewhere. Where the heck did I put my adhesive? Here it is. Okay. And again, just had to double check this with the instructions, so being careful. We got that all there. Alrighty. So here we go. I swear I keep losing this double-sided tape, but let's go ahead. How much? Do a decent amount. Something like that there is fine. So we're recommended to do 2 strips. There we go. Something like that will be okay. And there, I barely used any pressure to apply that because we really don't want to. And I'm trying to remove there that piece of Kynar tape from a previous install of some kind. So we got that. Going to remove this. And oh, I keep mixing these up. I'm going to do the same thing here. Oh, don't apply all too much pressure, just enough to get it stuck there. All right. Now again, because of the placement of this, it's pretty much going to pop on like this. So I'm going to remove the adhesives on these. I mean, I have it all down, but let's go ahead and get this removed. You know, the funny thing is this would be so much easier if I had nails, but I just trimmed my nails like yesterday, so it's going to be that much harder. There we go. So I got 1. Let's try to get the second one here. So far, this might be the hardest part, honestly. And there's number 2. Okay. So again, we're going to kind of come here. And be careful with the mod board because I need to pretty much work around it. We kind of need to slot this in place. And then as for this piece here, we're going to have to do the same thing on the mod board itself. It's going to go on a little like that. So I'm almost wondering if it might be better to just, let's see. So there we go, got the half of it done. Let's do the same thing here. Alrighty, and I'm gonna come back around. Should go a little something like that. And I'm not using all too much pressure just because don't want to damage the screen itself. Like I don't want to be just like hammering down on this, but we do have that sorted, so it looks like the screen install is complete there. That's good. We can get rid of some of the garbage, quite literally garbage, but I'll kind of kick this over here to the side. We should be okay. Now it looks like as for installing it here itself, we're going to come in like so, and this screen is going to come in like, how are we supposed to do it? I'm referring to the install instructions, but it looks like we're going to come in upside down, of course. And it's kind of pop on like that. Now I do need to remove the adhesive and all that, so let me actually work on getting that sorted now. So I do have this here, and this is nice. This is glass. I like this. I think I have the original one. Yeah, that original one is plastic, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I can feel it. Cool. I've always liked these glass fronts, so happy I'll have one here on my own Game Boy. I guess this will be my first original Game Boy that I'm keeping. Like I said, I did have to return that one, and thankfully that thrift shop did take it back. Like, that was super nice of them. But we got that there. All right, that's looking good. I guess we're gonna have to remove the adhesive here too. So here we go. We got the middle part removed, and we're kind of gonna just come in here and get it all set up. All right. So I got that plopped in. This point here. This I don't mind applying more pressure on, so it's going to do that. Remove this. Beautiful. That is looking good. I'm happy with that so far. Awesome. Let me wipe down the inside of this a little bit because there's just a little bit there that I want to wipe. I think that will be okay there. So we have that. And now for this guy. So now we're actually going to perform this mod. So I am going to gently remove this. There we go. And I think this should be all good to apply. Not touching the screen, being careful with that. I'm going to come in here upside down. It looks like this is okay. So come down like so. So I kind of had to focus a little bit off camera because I had to make sure this is all good, but it looks like here, like that's actually how it's supposed to be. So you kind of pop it in like that. Seems to be all flush and everything. There we go. And the screen looks a little something like that right there. That actually looks really cool. So that's awesome to see so far. Fantastic. All right. So that part's done. Now let's get the rest of the stuff done here. So we do have some nice fresh buttons here, thankfully. Let's go ahead and pop these in. So there we go. We have the D-pad. We have a couple other things as well too. All right. So there is one button. There is a second button. Is this going to... I wonder... No, that can't be right. Well, I do have this plastic piece right here, and I'm not sure what this is. It looks like it's to block something, but I'm curious what that's going to be for. I do know, however, we can install the new pads in here. So we're going to get one for the D-pad, which is just going to go in like that. This will play like a new Game Boy, which is great. We're going to get a second one in here. And then these ones, since they're just rubber, I'm gonna go in for Start Select. I actually put that in upside down. There we go. It's gonna be a little something like that. I am noticing though, I am gonna have to pull the speaker out, and it looks like I'll have to solder that, which, you know, no big deal. So I'll work on getting that removed as well too. I like how they say right here, if you look at this, don't put a screw in this hole. Like this hole right here, do not put a screw in, but that makes sense. It looks like that would just completely obliterate the screen if you do so. All right, so here we go. The only thing I did not have, this is the original screen itself and everything, and oh, this is cool. All right, I know this is actually like molded and everything, but this just looks like a 3D printed part. That's funny and awesome to see. However, looks like here I am going to have to desolder the current speaker and pop in a new one, which is no big deal. What I will do, however, is I do want to mark this real quick. Just to kind of have this one on the right, I'm going to just quickly mark it in black. There we go. Just so I know which one goes where. And there we go. Let's have it like this. Let me grab my soldering iron. We're going to work on getting this removed. So it looks like, for the most part, I'm actually surprised, because I kind of just bought this. I said, oh, it looks cool, and I thought I was going to do a lot more soldering, but obviously that's not the case. That is great. Remove those, put them over, and let's work on removing these two wires. So for this, just to make it a little easier, I'll apply some fresh solder to these points. There we go. Oh, that one already came off. Awesome. And then this guy, that's it. Quite literally all we had to do. Although I'm going to keep this over to the side. And let me clean this speaker real quick because it's not looking super great, but that's what I would expect. If there is, I'm not sure about this, I'm kind of just musing out loud, but I wonder if there's any mod for this which omits soldering from this completely. That's I'm wondering a little bit. But either way, it's all good here. I think what I'll even do, it looks like, no, I'm looking, they actually made this easier. So on this, you did have to go through hole in the original one, and you couldn't just solder on the bottom here, you had to come up through the top. This one actually has points on the top and bottom, so that makes it easier because that way I can just kind of come in here, tack it in. So that's great. I will use a little bit of no clean flux for this, so there we go. More than I expected, but all good. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. All right, something like that works. Sure. And here is the first point. All right, there's the first point. Let's do the second one. So again, just kind of come in with a little bit of no clean, make it easier. I know it's not required, but it does make it easier at least. All right, that is about all we had to do on there. That's looking good. So I'm going to turn off my iron, and I think I'm actually pretty shocked. I think that is the only time I have to solder for this mod. So let me go ahead, come in here, clean up a bit, grab one of my Q-tips. Just remove this old flux. Even if you had to come back around and just like solder from the top here, that's fine as well too. And actually, I am going to do that real quick. So yeah, that's all I'm going to do here. Just put a drop right there. Just have it so it looks nice on the other side as well. Oh, if I can. Alrighty, so now at this point I think we look okay here. Very good. Clean, 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 clean. Alright, now this ribbon cable is already attached to the mod board itself, so I'm going to come in here, pop it in, easy enough like that. There we go. And click this in place gently. Perfect. All right, and this is going to kind of come up on top like that. There we go. All right, that's keyed as well too. Everything's keyed. That's so great. And now there's going to be some screws that I need to pop in, so I should go ahead and do that. Now it looks like there's only 6 screws that I'm to install at the moment, so let's see which ones I have available to me. I'll just dump them all out and we'll just start installing. So funny enough, I didn't see where any of that would be. It doesn't look like there's a button there. Nothing there. It's more, I'm trying to figure out what the hell this is going to go to. I'm not seeing where this goes to. Even on here, looks like the power is totally fine. That's totally fine. Unless it is, hold on. Oh, that's cool. That's actually, okay, that's a cover for the, we figured it out. through context for the linking port right there. I guess that's totally optional though, and I'm actually going to remove that. No, it's fine. I'll just keep it in there, and if I ever need to actually use it, which I probably won't, I suppose I can remove it, but there, something like that's fine. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get these 6 screws installed. So it's just going to be these bottom ones here that we're going to screw everything into. Here we go. That's looking awesome so far. I hope it works. Which we're going to see very soon, because now, just like these two were connected before, where it's kind of like, let me zoom out now. We don't need to be that far zoomed in. For our last step here, we need to get these two connected using this ribbon cable. So it looks like we're going to come in here. It needs to be blue side facing upwards from what I can observe. So we're going to kind of come in here. See if it connects. There we go. Takes more force than I expected, but we got it. And oh, I mean, just the top here, but I touched the screen already on accident, but it's fine. It's not the screen, it's the glass. And we're gonna do the same on this. So we have that installed already. We're gonna come here, do the same thing, which I'm sorry if y'all can't see this, but I can't really get this here at a good angle for the camera. And trust me, I'm barely, I mean, I felt it there. All right. Ah, there we go. All right, I believe I have it slotted back in there. So I think that's okay. Should go a little something like that, but before we fully button it up, well, we need to make sure this thing actually works. Let's go ahead and give this thing some juice and see what happens. Also, we'll feed it a game as well too. I'm gonna do Pokemon yet again, just because that's the Game Boy game I have sitting here. Where's my batteries? My batteries are here. All right. Hey, it works. And hey, would you look at that? Wow. That's actually pretty cool. Let's get the sound works. That's good. How does the oh! All right, the contrast still works. Awesome. I think the only thing is, I can tell it's a little bit crooked. I can tell it's a little bit crooked, but it's working. That's good. That's good. I'd like to see if I can move that down just a bit. That's my only qualm on this here, just because I didn't know exactly how it was going to be going in. So let's see if we can adjust that at all. I do have to say, so far, even though there was a little bit of a flub there, honestly, because it's not supposed to be crooked, and even if it is, for me at least, I can live with it. It's fine. But I will say, so far this mod, super easy. Like, easy, awesome, pretty beginner friendly, I would say. Let me see if I can move this a bit. It just, yeah, it might be easier here. This did pop up, but it might be easier if I could just do this. Kind of pop this up a bit. All right, there we go. So what I did was, it's not like stuck in there, thankfully. It's still movable. So all I've done here is I just kind of lifted this up and I carefully remove this. I'm not going to fully remove the screen, but I'm kind of just pushing it down below. So that way we're kind of just getting it to the bottom there. It should hopefully be okay. All right, it's all good. So let's go ahead and try that again. We're just going to do a quick rebuild of this. Looks like it's making the clearance on there just fine. That's good. Got to push this in a bit, which definitely threw me for a loop. Alrighty. And let's do a quick rebuild of this. All right, let's try this again. All right, and it's not like, you know, happy with it. That's looking good. All right, there we go. And again, cool. Everything seems to be working on there so far. Let's go ahead get this fully buttoned up. I'd say I'm okay with it now, so turned off, and let's screw everything back in. All right, so it's finally all buttoned up here. This is looking awesome. Like, wow, this is cool. So I'll be honest, I did want to get one in black. There was like a solid black one I could have gotten. I decided to get this one though because something about electronics from this time frame. You know, they went see-through on them for all their special editions and stuff, and this is cool. I really like this. I really like this, and you know, I don't know, it just there's something special about this too, and it's like, look, I've done a bunch of console mods, I've owned a bunch of consoles, but it's really cool, and it's like, again, I've never had one of these. I've wanted one just kind of as a back burner thing, but I found one for a pretty good price, working but not fully working. Bought the mod kit, install on your own. Like, there's a little bit of a sense of pride that comes with that. Let me go ahead, turn this thing on. It was doing this before, so that hasn't changed. Let's see what's going on. Did I put the batteries in right? All I did, maybe I need to charge these as well too, but quite literally all I did was just screw it in. That's it. There we go. All right, so it's working. So looks like occasionally it might be doing that, but there we go. That's awesome. So while we look at that run, I'm just gonna have this in the background here. Again, the music works, well, sound works. Looks like, oh, huh, alrighty. Brightness, you can adjust this. Yeah, I forgot there is a, I need to find the button command for this, but either way, we'll look at that here in a little bit. This is cool. I did want to show the on-screen display here, so I had to see how to look this up, and I actually had to loosen the two screws here a little bit just because the contrast button was not working. But of course we do have contrast properly working on here, like, well, it should at least. We can bring it up and down. Yeah, I'm seeing it there. Yep, okay. I'm seeing a difference. Yep, just had to scroll a little bit more. But either way, what you can do is you hold this down. This is really cool for 3 seconds. And then you can adjust these options, I suppose. So you can't use these buttons at all. It's all right here. So you select that, and you can bump up the brightness. That is super bright. Like, that is nice. Wow, all right. You can change the vertical position, the horizontal position. It looks like there is a pixel effect mode, which you can turn. Oh, that's cool. I'm not sure if you all can see that here. Let me zoom in a little bit on this. I saw photos of this here, but let's see. Let's try this again. The photos didn't really do a good job displaying it, so pixel effect. Well, so if we turn it off, it just looks clean. If we turn it on, it's a little bit like a scanline effect, I guess you can say. That's cool. I think I prefer to have it clean, but of course when you turn the pixel effect on, it also dims it a little bit. So that's fine. The battery display? There's a battery display? Huh. That's cool. All right. I guess there's that. Color adjust, then factory mode reset. So yeah, if you want to adjust your colors, you could do that as well too, which... okay. Let's see, color 1, well, color 0, 1, 2, 3. So there's 4 by default on here. Let me try to just restart this here, and I want to just bring this up on this side. So I'm just going to stay at the start screen here. So this is how it should look typically. Oh, that's cool. So there's red. That's nice. This is kind of like a Game Boy Color without having Game Boy Color, I guess. That. There we go, back to default. So I think my two favorites so far are just the default one here and this one right here. This one, like, it looks real nice. I'll actually turn down the brightness a little bit just so you all can see it better on screen. So that's really cool. Okay. Real awesome. And then even if I turn it on, I'm gonna put it like right there. I'm going to try this here. We're going to turn the pixel effect on. All right. Skip past this. All right, so there's that. So turn the brightness up a bit because you do need that with it. So with the pixel effect, this is how it looks. That's so slick that everything is within here. That's really cool. I really do like that. So that's awesome. Awesome. I will say overall, so if you made it to the end of this, thank you very much for watching. It's beyond appreciated here. And I was kind of getting onto a little bit of a tangent about this, but it's just, I know there's a special feeling here with not only I recommend doing your own mod, so you know the work you're doing, you can learn a little bit. For me, I'm kind of weird. I find this fun. I'm probably not even going to play this a whole ton, but it's just really fun having this available here. But on top of that, it's just, you just get a nice sense of accomplishment with doing all of this overall. I do have to say, I kind of want to review this mod here. Overall, so I paid about just over $50 US for this. I got it off of AliExpress, so of course straight from China, and it came with everything. So literally all you need to do, I mean, not this here, but you just need to bring your own Game Boy guts. So quite literally, you don't even need a whole Game Boy for this. Like, if you just have the Game Boy motherboard itself, you can complete this modification. Now, I think if you only get the mod, you do have to, cut the screen, cut the original plastic yourself and all of that, and that does cost a bit less. I think you might be able to get the mod kit alone for maybe $30, and this is an IPS one, of course, or if you want to do what I did, get the whole thing, because I mean this was kind of gross and banged up and all that as well too. Look at all that grime there. Like, look at that. That's gross looking. You could restore that if you want to. Like, that's totally fine. But I kind of wanted to give this a nice fresh coat. This is my own Game Boy here that I'm starting with. It's not anyone else's. It's my Game Boy right here. This is real cool. So honestly, for like $50, I think this is well worth it. And overall, I've put about $80 into this whole console, paid $30 for the console, $50 for the complete case and IPS screen and everything. Like, this is just fantastic right here. I can't say enough good stuff about it. I do want to say as well too, I firmly believe, I think this is the best beginner mod you can do. I'm saying this because I have people who consistently ask me, hey, I've never modded before, I've never done a hardware mod, I've never soldered before, what should I do? Should I do an Xbox? Should I do an Xbox 360? I'd say if you want something awesome, cool, and useful, do this if you can. Get an original Game Boy, get yourself a mod kit, and do it. You kind of get to test out everything. It's pretty simple to do. There's only 6 screws to get in here. In total, there's less than 20-30 screws to the entire system right here. Everything, because it's from 1989, things were built much more, they were more designed to be repairable back then. So it's much easier to get into this system to completely rip it apart. So you can get practice taking a console apart. You can get practice messing with all the buttons here, seeing how everything is keyed. You can get practice doing maintenance on this, cleaning up the system and seeing what you can do. Even soldering. Yes, you do have to solder, but there's 2 wires that you have to solder. You desolder them and then solder them onto the new ones here. And as long as you have incredibly basic solder skills, like you know how to put wires together, you can do this. I'm saying here, like, in my opinion, doing a complete IPS screen swap and Reshell mod on an original DMG Game Boy like this is probably, in my opinion, this is the best beginner mod that you can do, and I'm actually going to recommend this going forward for anybody who asks me, hey, I want to start doing some hardware console mods, but I'm afraid I don't know what to do. What should I do? I'm just going to say this. Find yourself a DMG Game Boy like this. If you're into Game Boy, of course. Some people just hate Game Boy, they're not interested, so, you know, maybe not. But if you want to keep your options open, get yourself a DMG, get yourself a IPS display mod kit, because this is useful. This is really cool. This is an awesome mod. Oh my goodness, I am in love with this thing. And even if you're not a beginner like me, I don't count myself as a beginner, this is awesome. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy with this. This is cool. Oh man. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, a like would absolutely be appreciated. And if you didn't like it, a dislike is fine as well too.